ASML. It's a stock we've talked about a lot on this podcast. My opinions have generally been it's a stock that I like in the long run, but a lot of the short term factors have caused me not to add it to the portfolio that we keep on this podcast. But I do like talking to other smart people and getting their opinions on it. So would ASML be something that you're still looking to buy today?
In terms of ASML, I mean, my goodness, let's pair that with a conversation about just chip making in general. With I know you guys have talked a lot about Taiwan Semiconductor as well, and there is no doubt in my mind that the computing demand of the world is going to continue to increase. OpenAI is talking about budgets in the trillions of dollars, not even hundreds of billions anymore, trillions of dollars to build out data centers in the United States, in the Middle East, and elsewhere. And who's going to be running? Who's going to be doing the horsepower? Who's all the chips going to be? Doing the things that are necessary for all this high performance computing? It's certainly going to be manufactured by mostly three companies, two of which are in a lot of problems right now.
Yes.
The one that is not is Taiwan Semiconductor, which is by far the largest manufacturer of chips in the entire world. They also happen to be based in Taiwan, as the name would suggest, which China, if you've been paying attention, has got a mandate of reunifying with Taiwan by the year 2029. So there's a giant geopolitical risk associated with this, Eric, that what happens if the boats start showing up on the coast of Taiwan? Is it true, as I've heard alluded to, that Taiwan Semiconductor, someone actually has a button you can push to blow up all the factories if it just really gets that bad? I'm not saying that is going to happen, but just talk about a long tail geopolitical risk. That's about as big as it could possibly be. The other two that are certainly having issues are Samsung and Intel. Samsung has a long history of underperforming and bad execution. Not only does the leader of there, but that's kind of the semiconductor chip industry in a nutshell.
So am I reading between the lines here saying one of my biggest fears with ASML has been the customer concentration towards TSM and the amount of leverage that gives them, and that doesn't put the semiconductor equipment space or the people that make the machines to make the chips in a very good position. Is that your current read on that situation, or do you have a different read?
So ASML has got a technology that no one else can do, which is extreme ultraviolet lithography. EUV is what we call it, which is necessary if you wanted to make any transistor of less than 7 nanometers in diameter, right? This is the cutting edge chips. These are the things that go into iPhones, that go into data centers. It doesn't need to be this sexy for a chip that goes into a washing machine or a refrigerator. But if you're Apple, you are demanding the smallest transistors possible to create the best computing density of any chip that you can create out there. And so there are only, Taiwan, we've gone from 7 nanometers down to 2 nanometers and smaller. The newest nodes that Taiwan Semi is actually able to manufacture are 2 nanometers. They're pushing the limits of what physics was predicting was even possible before. And so that's a step change because you can't even use the regular EUV technology that ASML had anymore. You've got to take another step and use something called high NA EUV, high numerical aperture, which is the newest and greatest machines that ASML that produces. This is now a machine that each one of them costs $370 million. There's only a handful of companies that can even afford to buy those, like the companies we just mentioned out there. But it's cutting edge, and it's going to be another step change. And it's going to require a fundamental change in the architecture of the process technologies of the companies that are manufacturing those chips. This is my long-winded way of saying that we are in one of those step changes right now, Eric. We're going from FinFET architecture to gate-all-around architecture for both Samsung and for Taiwan Semi, which are the only two that can manufacture at this point less than 2 nanometer cutting-edge chips. And so, accordingly, ASML is going to be the machine you have to use if you want to have the best chips that are available out there. I think that in the short term, there's going to be a lot of hiccups. Intel was not able to raise the funding it wanted to from the CHIPS Act in the United States, nor from a similar program that was in Germany to develop its fabs. Samsung similarly ran into a lot of problems for the Taylor, Texas fab that it was trying to develop out there. But again, a good fab costs $40 billion or more. This is kind of a challenging environment because we're kind of at the bottom of the cyclical cycle for semiconductors. But I think that long term, you're not displacing ASML no matter how badly you want to if you're a competitor in lithography. They are the cutting edge, most technologically advanced lithography provider in the entire industry. And that's going to be very important over the next decade and even longer.